Hello ladies and gentlemen. Every now and then some absolute gems gets uploaded to Race Department. Gems that trigger my curiosity and makes me want to learn more. And that is the case for this video. Today we will learn about the Nardi Bisiluro, or however that is pronounced. A strange car indeed, and the footage you see will be from the mod found on Race Department, made by Nugget and Machina. And this story begins, as with many other car-related stories, with an Italian. A man who worked at Lancia as a truck engineer slash race car driver, and later at Scuderia Ferrari. Enrico Nardi, a man who, as I said, built trucks, did setups for race cars, and also raced the likes of Miles Miglia. He would later start multiple companies of his own for tuning or rebuilding cars, but would also put his own ideas into the real world, as he did with the Bisiluro. The asymmetrical design was inspired by German aeroplane concepts from the late 30s and would make for a hugely aerodynamic vehicle, and from an article at 24hourslemans.com it said that the bodywork was done first, with everything else being adapted to the body shape. The design obviously gives the car its weird look, but also its name. Bisiluro means twin torpedo according to articles online. I don't speak Italian myself, so I'll take their word for it. But the name does fit the design well. But what really makes it weird, in my opinion, is the radiator that sort of folds up over the midsection of the car, between the so-called torpedoes. And the strangest continues, with the left torpedo containing the engine and transmission, while the right side held the fuel tank and driver. The Bisiluro was built for racing, and specifically for endurance racing. It was to compete in the smaller than 750cc class, and its stats are rather impressive, as well as scary. The engine was a 0.7 liter BMW engine that was tuned by Gianni. Gianni is described in one of the articles to be a Bath-like tuner, so they were probably bonkers as well. Bonkers and brilliant. Anyway, the 0.7 liter engine would produce 62 horsepower, which doesn't sound too impressive. But the car was light, very light. How light? Well, it only weighed 400 kilos, and with a sleek body like that, it could reach incredible speeds. The 24-hour Le Mans article says that during practice on La Sarthe, it would reach 220 kilometers an hour, and that it would perform very well in its class. The top speed would of course be down the Mulsanne Straight. Back in 1955, there was no chicanes, so that must have been so scary in this small thing. The Bisiluro would debut at the 24-hour of Le Mans in the fateful year of 1955, most known for featuring the worst accident in motorsport history. An incident that would claim 82 lives and injure over 100 more. The incident happened as a Mercedes was trying to pass a much slower Austin Healey, but hit it in the rear at 240 kilometers an hour. The Healey's rear would act as a ramp, and so the Mercedes was thrown into the air towards the spectator stands. And yeah, a terrible accident, and one that would change motorsport forever. So how did the Bisiluro do in the greatest test of all, the 24-hour of Le Mans? Well, not too good. After just 148 minutes, the car would go off the road and end up in a ditch. Most of the articles I read tells the story of the Bisiluro being so light it was blown off the road by a passing Jaguar, and the race department page also brings up the story, but adds that drivers complained about poor weight balance and handling, and that this is more likely the reason. The handling was so sensitive to any change of direction that drivers were worried to even move inside the cockpit, and they had huge difficulty driving the car in a straight line, so an accident may have seemed inevitable. Luckily, the Bisiluro was salvaged from the ditch with very little damage to both car and, most importantly, the driver. But the car was retired, and the Bisiluro was all about forgotten until Nardi donated the car to the National Science and Technology Museum, Leonardo da Vinci, in Milan. And although many of us casual racing fans don't know about this car, it's described as being an inspiration for many car designers over the years. And its continued existence will hopefully inspire designers in the future as well. As I mentioned, the footage you're seeing is from Assetto Corsa and the mod made by Nugget and Machina. I always appreciate when a mod can give me the interest to learn more about the vehicle, especially when the mod is good, because it's great and I've had a blast driving it, so good job and thank you so much for sharing it with the community. I took it around the Nordschleife a few days ago and it didn't place too well on the list, but what can we expect from an almost 70-year-old car that was built for a completely different type of racing? I would highly recommend you download and try this car out, maybe take it for a spin on some classic tracks. I would also recommend reading more about it if you're interested, as there are conflicting information in some of the articles. Links are as always in the description, but that's it, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.